GM in Australia Monday morning. So what I thought I'd do today is obviously just focus on the meme coin side, look at our current trades, look at some potential ways that I like to find trades, because I think that's still a really good way for you guys to learn about how I search for trades, so that then you can also start to learn those strategies when perhaps I'm moving like later this week and I don't have as much time, but then you guys can still look at the charts or do some of these strategies to essentially look for some really good meme coin plays. So Sexy and I were just looking at just macro, and honestly, it looks really good, guys. Like, we're in a great position. Radium looks fantastic. Jupiter looks great. Solana is showing so much strength. Total crypto market cap looks great. BTC dominance is hitting that 60% mark. So soon enough, it'll probably top. Again, it could still rally for another 3 months or longer before we see altcoins and meme coins go absolutely crazy. But at the end of the day, we're closer to BTC dominance topping out, which ultimately means better returns in the altcoin market and in the meme coin market. So, I will, obviously these are our current trades. Just wait for Discord to respond. But yeah, today I thought I'd quickly go through some of those different strategies, because it is important that you understand how I look for trades, right? Because that's what I want you guys to do is so that you can become better traders as well. So we're in these trades at the moment. So Trump's been a long-term hold. I think that's just I think Trump is probably the one that I look to probably take aggressive profits after the election or leading up to the election. Usually you do want to sell out of something that is news warranted, because at the end of the day, it often the hype is what drives that demand to that token. And once the news or the event occurs, then it often dumps quite aggressively. So we probably look to take full profits on Trump leading up into the election. But again, we've already taken a 2x before at 240 mil. Epic, again, it's kind of lost a lot of steam. I did take a lot of profits already at 33 mil. I haven't checked it this morning, but it could be closer to our break even at 13 mil. So those two are probably the weaker side of the trades that we're in. Those two have obviously been ones that we've been in for quite a while, whereas these ones down below are a little bit more recent. So Selfie, Mini, Sigma, those three I'm very bullish on. Hearing a lot of things about all three of those particular tokens behind the scenes, whether they get exchange listings or other people are starting to ape massive bags into it, like Mitch and Ansem and DJ and those sorts of, and even Murad as well. Like, so you want to be in tokens that are going to stimulate a lot of conversation. So those three definitely. Mini's probably the weaker one out of those three. XD still is outside of our breakup, and again, we'll look at the charts very shortly. But XD still looks good. I just want to see volume come in now that we move into Monday. However, if it doesn't come in, it looks like we could have rejected from the fib, but we'll have a look at that shortly. Kobe also is coming down. I think I'm going to hold Kobe here, guys. I have got the stop loss at break even. However, I think I might move my stop loss down, and I think I'll DCA into Kobe because holders are still going up. I had a look this morning, and it still is, again, kind of like that token. It's an easy bet. Like these big boys are talking about Kobe and it's at 7 mil, whereas like Selfie and Sigma and stuff are at like 40, 38, 30 mil. So that's still a good 3 to 4x for Kobe to match sort of where those levels are. So that one is probably worth a hold at the lower and DCAing into lower fibs, which we'll look at shortly. Retardio, just a no-brainer. I think that one's going to be a great play. I mean, you can hold the NFT. I just prefer to be liquid, guys, so I'm in the meme coin. SCF is also one that I think comes back. Like, you've got massive names in that particular token. Raul Paul, for example, owns that one. So it looks like it could be breaking out probably in the next couple of days. And then I have taken full profits, like I already pinged you guys about. Onyx, I already put it in there twice. There we go. So I have put it there from yesterday, and then also Pig, I took full profits on that very aggressively, and Pig's already come back down nearly to 2 mil, and Onx is well below our entry. So that's why I'm very aggressive on plays, guys. You want to be staying as liquid as possible, particularly if you don't have the cash just to hold a lot of positions, okay? And then lastly, guys, Bro. I think Bro could be a really good play. We've got the breakout. I just want to see volume again, kind of like the XD. XD and Bro are probably the ones that I want to see volume come in the next sort of 24 to 48 hours and take it higher, because you do have holders still increasing last time I checked, but we'll do a bit of analysis there. So we'll go to XD first. Let me just check that it's all good. Yep, amazing. So what we're seeing here is this bull wedge playing out. So I'm happy to be patient. And I think a lot of you do need to remember that these sorts of plays are going to play out probably over days, possibly weeks, rather than hours. Okay. Now, sometimes there are going to be plays like Pig and like Onyx that we swing traded very aggressively within a 12-hour period. But a lot of the time, sometimes it's better to also take these longer term swing trades like we're seeing at the moment. So XD still looks really good here. I do want to see this try and reattempt a breakout above the 618. As you can see, we did try 2, but we have failed there. We are still setting a high low, like in theory, well above that high low there. So for me, we got in at 7 mil and at 7.7. You could put your stop loss at break even there, guys, wherever your entry was if you want, just in case this does break down to the downside. But what I am wanting to see come in the next sort of day or so is an increase in volume. This is a classic sort of breakout trade where you have a consolidation wedge, whether it's bullish or bearish, those sorts of things. You have the breakout, but what we haven't seen yet is volume starting to increase. Now I want to see volume increase here to take this higher whilst it moves up. So we will look at holders, but right now I am just watching this one as that sort of just trade that I want to more aggressively probably rotate out of if it looks like it's going to break down. Let me bring up XD holders just to check. I haven't looked at this one this morning yet. And obviously, if you have questions, guys, please leave them in the chat down below. Again, I will be doing a little strategy talk at the end. Yeah, so holders are kind of like, it's red, but it's not too bad. Like you're still green to red. So yeah, definitely have stop loss at break even for XD, guys. That way you don't lose out if it does decide to break down. Okay, let's move on to Bro. So Bro, obviously this looks good. We're at 3.1 million right now. So we got in at 2.3. So I don't even know. That's a 33% move-ish. And as you can see, we're retesting that fib there at the 618. So for me, I think this is a really good trade. The community is still very good. But again, kind of like what I said about XD, I want to see volume come in at the start of this week. So we obviously, this is why I also don't like to trade a lot over the weekends because there is a lot less volume in meme coins, those sorts of things. You want to be trading sort of newer tokens on the weekend like we did with Pig and with Onyx. Whereas here, obviously, this one, I'm looking to swing trade it up. But this looks really nice, so I'm happy to hold this. Let's look at Bro holders as well. And the reason I rely so much on holders is because you want to see holders starting to increase. Yeah, look at those numbers. Those are beautiful numbers, guys. So yeah, no, Bro looks like a better trade to me than XD at the moment, but you never know. We could see volume come into both tokens at the same time. All right, let's go to Kobe. So this is Kobe. This is what we're talking about. So we got in here at about 7.3, I think it was. Maybe it was a little bit higher. What have I got on my thing? 7.7. So we are pretty much just above where we got in initially on this bounce here. I think it was. I think we retested around this range here. And this is where I took that first trade, guys. I then obviously took profits up here when we reached about that 2x. And what we are now is consolidating. So again, this looks really good to me. I mean, in theory, you could probably say you do have a support line there that we would like to see hold. If that doesn't hold, then likely we probably revisit the lower fibs as well, which again, I'm probably very happy to accumulate Kobe down here if we obviously get there. I think this one definitely could be a sender in the months to come. Again, if we look at the holders, you've got really good green numbers across the week. What you do want to see is market cap to holders going up. So 14.24, that has been going up nicely, which is good. And then if we do look, the only consideration is also top 10 holders do own 20%. So that is a little bit high, but that's not too bad. So yeah, I'm happy holding Kobe. And I do think that if we do break down, again, if you're strapped for liquidity, set your stop loss at break even. You are still in profit here, so feel free to take profits if you want. And alternatively, if we do see a dip, then I'll be DCing in here. But obviously, if we don't dip, then I'm happy holding this trade, potentially moving into the next sort of coming. Well, this is on the day chart. So yeah, I mean, it could be still a week before we see a breakout for Kobe. Moving on to the next one. So we'll move up into those other sort of, yeah, is that a question? Yes. That's where I was heading next. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, we'll look at Sigma, Selfie, Mini, Retardio, SCF as well. Yeah, oh man, look at this. That's Pad, great spot, mate. Yeah, this is why we bought, guys. So we front run, I think it was Mitch bought some. I think DJ may have bought some, or he's already in this one. Like, so you got massive names on the timeline with lots of money buying into this. So this is why we DCA'd, guys, and everyone just, sometimes you got to stay patient because this is on a day chart and this consolidated for obviously, what's that, 2-3 weeks now. So yeah, like this, sometimes that's the best play. So I'll be watching this very aggressively. I'll be watching the high because in theory we could potentially see a double top, but again, we'll keep an eye on. So I'm bag holding a bit of this. I likely look to rotate some profits at an all-time high, but we'll keep an eye on how it performs because this, something like Sigma and Selfie, those two could really be that next leg up, kind of like FWOG that goes to like 200 million. So yeah, very happy we accumulated down here, guys. Sure. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. 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 I That is a great, yeah, Pat, great question. I think a lot of people can relate to that sort of question. So I think you've asked, like, essentially what I would probably do in your position is I would take your initials out so then you can free ride the rest. So take your initials out once it hits a 2x, which it looks very likely. Again, we DCA'd anywhere between this sort of 44 to 33-ish range. So again, what your 2x would be, yeah, potentially at this fib, depending where you bought. I think taking your initials out there means you have liquidity. It means you've taken some off the tables, and then you can free ride hold this to much higher valuations. I do agree that this one could very much be that next sort of move up into that couple hundred sort of $1 million range. So yeah, does that answer your question? Yep. 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 Yes. Well, I mean, I think this. Yeah, yeah. And then that way you've got liquidity and that way you've taken some off the tables and it's a free trade, right? And that's what I like because I started in your position too. So I understand why it's beneficial to be more aggressive in trades like that. Like hoping for 100x is great, but at the same time, 99% of memes go to zero, right? So hoping for 100x isn't going to get you anywhere. Whereas taking consistent profits, having a trading plan is going to compound your wealth over time and start leveling up your portfolio a lot quicker. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, I mean, we'll look at Sigma holders. I assume it's gone crazy as of this massive pump. Yeah, like if you look like, and the reason like we front run the people because we use TA, but then obviously I started to hear, and we were talking about it in the wallet trackers channel as well. Yeah, you got beautiful numbers there. And then look at that. So the big difference between Kobe and something like this is market cap amount to holders. So that's what you'd like to see, 4,000 average per holder. So that's really good there. And you have massive buys. Look at these green candles over here. So massive holder increases before we started to move up here. So yeah, it looks really good, guys. I think Sigma's not a bad play. The engagement as well on Twitter is very high. So very good trade, that one. Selfie, we'll go to there now. Uh, yeah. Mm. So yeah, it's a great. Yeah, let's talk through that. Okay. So if we have a look, so I'll just move this over a little bit for my screen to record. Oh, it's not going to work. Never mind. Okay, so like what I like to look for is a range of different things. So the first thing is you don't want top holders to be too high. So ideally you want to see distribution of the top 10 holders own less than 20% of the supply. If they own more than 20%, traditionally that's quite bearish because if they start to clip some profits into liquidity, it definitely dumps the token and puts a negative effect on it. Ideally you want to see green across all time frames here. You also want to see holder change. So like essentially that's what we're looking at there is an increase in green, but obviously consistent green. If you look at MOG, you look at SPX, you look at Giga, they literally have green days every single day. The next thing you want to see is actually holders going up. So This is obviously on the 4 hour, but if we go to 12 hours and we spread it over the last month, look at the holders going up for something like this, right? So that's Sigma. Maybe I'll record a video on this actually. But yeah, as you can see, like we're increasing very nicely. We increased a lot at all-time highs, classic, like don't top blast guys, we buy it down here. And so as you can see, we're still increasing, which is lovely to see. What you do want to then track is some of these statistics over on the side. So market cap to holders ratio. So ideally you want to see that going up. That means that there's more whales in. That means that people are happy to hold it for longer. Sometimes you can track, down here as well, the top wallet supply. So how many people are diamond handing it? How many people are, oh goodness. How many people are like only just new holders, those sorts of things. Ideally, you want to have tokens that are going up, okay, but also tokens that have a higher percentage of diamond hands compared to the other hand like holders, right? So for me, this one looks great, right? Whereas you look at something like Epic, its price went up, but it's also price is now dumping. However, it has a really high diamond hand holder collection as well. So that's something to definitely note. And then you can obviously do a little bit more analysis as well. So how long the average holders been in for, the average retention, okay, and those sorts of things as well. But ultimately, I do like to check sort of these ones here because that shows me the short-term time frame. So the 4 hours, the 12 hours, the 1 day. That just shows me what's happening on the short-term frame. And then obviously, like I showed you before, come over to the side and you can put it on holders and see and zoom out. Go to the 12 hours and then obviously go to the 30 days. And then you can actually see the growth over the past month as well in holders. So those are the types of things that I like to look at on Holder Scan. Does that answer your question? No, you're welcome. You're welcome. No troubles. So we'll go to Selfie. I'll just check the chat. There's a couple of questions in the chat. Oh, no, I haven't had a chance to look at that token yet. TPSW. Maybe ping me after because I just want to talk through some strategies in this particular live stream and obviously look at our trades that we're in. So Selfie looks really good here, guys. Again, we're holding this sort of yellow support that we've been in for a while. You could still say, in theory, this is still a very nice cup and handle that is potentially going to break out in the coming days. And we look like we're pushing up higher here. Again, good rumors on this one. You've got big wallets accumulating. You've got potential exchange listings or market makers, those sorts of things. And fundamentally, that helps push a lot of tokens a lot higher. So we'll look at Selfie holders. Selfie and Sigma, great sort of, like, how can I describe this? Like, they're in that middle cap zone of where they really could aggressively push up into the multiple hundreds of millions quite quickly because they do have that good community. They have strong tickers. They have good hold accounts, those sorts of things. Again, Selfie has a lot of green that we're seeing. Look at that, like top 10 holders only own 12% of the supply, so that's really good. And then you got diamond hands on Selfie at 45%, guys. So yeah, this looks really good for a good hold for me. So Selfie and Sigma are probably my strongest sort of medium-term plays at the moment on those sorts of market caps. Okay, so that's those two. Let's move on to Retardio is next. Excuse me, I am still recovering a little bit from being sick. All right, so Retardio, yeah, look at this. It bounced exactly off the 0.5 fib, guys. We obviously bought the 382. We've also bought the 0.5, and I think the same thing. I will likely buy into any more dips if we do see him on Retardio. I think this one obviously just has that cult mindset, right? And it's the sort of ticker that you want to be in moving forward. So again, you could probably say we're creating a second bull wedge right now, and this is just an accumulation consolidation period before we do attempt a breakout very soon. So again, very happy holding Retardio as well. Let's look at the holders. All right, so we're looking here again, market holders is very strong, 4.7. You've got a massive increase over the past sort of couple of days. Good percentages across the week, across the 3 day as well. Good percentages. Again, your top 10 holders is only at 15%. Diamond hands is at 58% for this one, guys. So yeah, don't fade this. I think this one could be an absolute sender. And if we do look at the holder cap, completely, yeah, holders continue to increase over the past month as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Retardio, again, a really good sort of medium. Well, it's a bit high, right? It's at 100 million. So it's something that could definitely push towards that 300, 400 million in the coming months, I suppose, as well. So let's move to SCF. This one was probably on the, yep. No problem. Hey, ask me questions. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't, if Yeah, if I wasn't in already, I'd probably buy the point 0.5. I'd set a limit at the point 0.5 and the 0.618, and then just and happy like hold those and hope that they hit. Yeah. No worries. And okay, no, so SCF is starting to break out, guys, as of this morning. So we're obviously same. A lot of charts are like this. Okay, you had this massive breakout that we all traded about a month or two ago, and now they've consolidated, and now we're starting to see again really good areas. This one even went all the way down to its 0.786. And again, like I spoke about before, we have people like Raoul Paul, Ansem, and stuff who are in this, so it's not going to die because they're talking about it. They like people are aware that they hold it. So we'll dive into the holder analysis too. But yeah, very happy with this DCA. I think we DCA'd a little bit higher as well. And here, let me check my chart. I have, what is this on SEF? So we got in at 69 and 57 we got in this. So yeah, we're nearly at above on both of those DCAs. So yeah, I think this one's a good one to hold. Again, medium term, like this probably plays out over days, if not weeks. So you do have to stay patient with some of these higher time frame sort of trades. Let's look at the holders as well. Yeah, you've still got 3.4, which is good. You've got less green strength here, but you do still have a lot of beautiful green strength. If we look at diamond, yeah, so gold's the highest one, whereas the other three tokens that we just looked at, they all had diamond as the highest. So this one's sort of developing still. The only thing I think on this one, where is it? Oh, no, yeah, so top 10 holders is at 17, so that's not too bad. So it must have been a different one I was looking at. Yeah, no, so this one looks really good. You've got listings on some of the exchanges too, which already kind of helps it add more liquidity, but also appear to more people as well. So I do think that this could potentially, unless they sent those tokens, if it's only 41, they probably sent tokens to Binance personally. Yeah, 0% of sex holdings. Yeah. No, so yeah, it's not quite listed on the top tier exchanges, but I mean, MEXC is pretty good to hold a token as well. So no, that one looks really good. SCF as well. We looked at those. XD we looked at the start. Mini is the last one that I want to look at. This one looks like it's pumping well. So this is what we're seeing. Like now is the time that we're starting to see a lot of these mid tiers again. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Mid tier memes look push towards that. Some breaking out like Selfie and like Sigma, but Selfie and Mini like this are still consolidating within this range. So again, Mini looks really good here. We DCA'd. What was our entry at 43? So we are in profit at the moment. I assume 43 was about that fib that level there. We obviously didn't get to our next level of accumulation. That would have been a really nice buy at about 32 if we did see it. Because it would have been a retest of all-time highs previously from July. If we do look at mini holders, I think it looks pretty good as well last time I checked. But yeah, these are the ones that I'm happy to hold now for the next sort of probably swing trade up, and then we'll take a bit of profits out on those. So yeah, we got beautiful green again across all time frames. Let's check holders across the past month. Yeah, beautiful. That's great. Like it is sorting, like probably not as strong as some of those other ones that we looked at before, but it does look really nice. You still got 3.1 as the market cap to holder ratio. It's listed on Gate, so ideally you want to see this listed on a couple higher, and then you've got beautiful diamond, 39%, 40% nearly diamond hands on this one, so that's really good. Top 10 holders a little bit higher on mini. So yeah, no, that again looks really good. I'm happy with our levels of entry there, and those ones really look good for higher. So that's pretty much all of the trades that we're currently in. Just a reminder, I do update the spreadsheet. Shout out to Coach who has created a new spreadsheet. It's just a little bit more complicated. I need to learn how I can understand that spreadsheet before I do share it with you guys in the group. But yeah, this does keep you up to date with all of our trades in the current point of time, and then obviously our profit and loss. I've only started tracking it from about the start of this month, but yeah, we're doing quite well at the moment, guys, consistently. So that's really good. Like and the biggest part I think about why this group succeeds is because we don't have massive losses, right? we understand where there's good risk to reward. We take good risk to reward plays. And if they are already pumping, we just kind of fade that, right? Because look at our stop loss is hit, but they're only ever maximum about a 30% loss. I think, yeah, 36 here on Ant, but that was a bad entry for me. Whereas the other ones are only maximum of 20 to 30% on those sorts of trades. So that's also the secret to succeeding longer term is making sure that you have invalidation and sticking to that, because that you're protecting your capital on the downside risk is just as important as making profits and taking profits over time. All right, there's a question. After that, I will talk about some strategies that you can use moving forward. So, hey, Greeny, on my BullX for Selfie, it shows this. So I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, so top 40. So I'm looking at this 10,000 holders. It has a few insiders in it, which a lot of tokens do. 1%, 1.7%. Yeah, so that's not too bad at all. So no, I think BullX probably doesn't. You need to go to holder scan more, or go directly to the blockchain to check it. Dex Screener and BullX, they are lagging a lot of the time. I have found that. So yeah, I'd much prefer to rely on data from holder scan and the blockchain itself. If you want to look at top holders, like we can, like which one is that? Selfie. So if we look at Selfie and we copy the contract, this is probably a good educational tool as well. So I'm just, and we might be seeing, I think my internet's crashing a little bit. Okay, just bear with me, guys. Yeah, what you might be seeing is market makers starting to step in who have a lot more liquidity as well. So those are the sorts of things that you need to goodness. My internet's a bit delayed, sorry fam. Just give me a sec to sort it. Let's get out of a few tabs. Okay, hopefully that helps. Yeah, okay, here we go. All right, so yeah, there we go. Thanks, Sexy. So if we paste the contract into to the actual blockchain, we can have a look here. And you can come to holders and you can actually dive in and see who these wallets are and have a look at how much supply they own. So as you can see, we have this is top 10 holders own. Yeah, so the Radium liquidity pool, so exclude that, but 1.7, 1.2, so that's 3%, 4.1, 5%, 6%, 7, 8, 9, 10%. So 10% in the top 10 holders. So that's a green flag for me. And if you would, if you really want to, you can dive into these new or these addresses here and see whether they're old holders or whether they're new holders, those sorts of things as well. Because if you do start to see whales starting to accumulate it definitely does mean that there might be some other things going on behind the scenes, like whether it is MEXC buying in, Binance, those sorts of things. Okay, they obviously have to accumulate some of the supply to then obviously hold that token on their exchange. Or alternatively, it could be a whale buying in, or it could be a market maker deal. Those sorts of things are always good to consider and be aware of as well. So I hope that answers your question, Caden. All right. Any metrics or breakdown available for top GOAT holders and what they traded out from would be interesting to know. Well, yeah, that's it. If you want, you can spend time diving deep across those. And TradeWiz is amazing, guys. Don't forget to use that tool, okay? So that's just, you can sign up is in the official links channel. If we do go, I'll show you how to do it. Just give me a sec to set it all up. GOAT. No, why is it not working? Okay. If we go there. I mean, GOAT does look like it's topped out here a little bit. If I come here to TradeWiz, here we go. All right, cool. So if I go to Smart... All right, so if I come to TradeWiz and I put in smart money, okay, please provide the token contract address to locate smart money. Then come obviously back to the meme coin that you want to look at. This is very much a double top. Come over across here and then paste it in here. What TradeWiz should be able to do is show you the top wallets with the ROI. So as you can see here, it's going to give you a list of the top, that's about 20, I'd say, addresses that made a high percentage on it. Now, what I want you to do is you then can click through on each individual wallet. There are too many people queuing at the same time. Sometimes you do have to give it a little bit of time to process. It does take maybe 30 seconds or longer. Yeah, to ensure the stability, you can only request every 10 seconds. So yeah, you might have to be a little bit patient on this, but essentially you can look at these directly. I have done a YouTube video on it. I am probably going to do another one very soon. But if you do click on it, has that been 10 seconds? I think that's been about 10 seconds. Let's click on it again. Let's see if it wants to prompt me this time. There are too many queuing. So yeah, but you can do it. So if you can search into it, you click on this, it's going, I have done that in the YouTube tutorial that I've done before. I obviously need to be a little bit more patient with it, but if you dive into it, it's going to show you the 30-day return on that wallet, the 1-day return on that wallet, the 7-day return on that wallet, and the tokens that they've transacted, how early they got in, did they get airdrop tokens, those sorts of things. You can dive into it a lot deeper. So yeah, great question. And TradeWiz is amazing at doing that. It's by far the best copy trading wallet that I've used and the best analyzing wallet that I've used on Telegram. So do check that out. It's in the official links. And I have done a YouTube video. So go to the YouTube video channel and search TradeWiz in there, or copy trading, I think it might be, and you'll be able to find it. Difficult to hide. Yeah. So no, yeah, that's fair. Like you can track the smart money, and if you can find it, then you could definitely start getting into some of these tokens. Like perhaps people from Goat started to buy Sigma, for example, and you can follow that to then obviously track what the smart money is doing. But yeah, unfortunately, I'll try one more time. Did it work? No, it's not working. Maybe it's the address. I'll try the third address. Yeah, no, it's not working, but it does work, guys. Trust me. I did it in the YouTube video. All right, so what I want to talk about now is a couple of different trading strategies. So we've obviously looked at memecoin trades that we're in. We've obviously looked at a few different tools and stuff to talk about. But what I want to talk about is actually some different ways to trade. Now, I'll start in the trenches. It's extremely risky, guys, in the trenches. What I have noticed is that with a graduation rate of only 1.5%, what you are doing in the trenches is trying to find these early tokens with high volume and high increaser holders increasing, getting into them at, say, 5 to 20K and getting out of them by like 40 to 50K. And you're just taking that 2X and rinsing, repeating that over time. Now, this week I am going to add some meme coin tools like I've been talking about to the server, which is a great addition in my opinion. Obviously you don't have to use them, but if you would like to use them, they're all going to be there for your pleasure, right? And so what I want to talk about is probably I'm going to do a more couple streams in the coming weeks once we've got the tools in the server, because it's easy for me to explain how I go about it. But what you're looking for if you're in the trenches is either a trend, okay, so someone's tweeting a particular thing, whether Trump says something, Elon says something, whether a news event happens, okay, whether someone goes viral on TikTok or Instagram, and then that's where you want to be finding the tickers here. That's one way to trade. The second way to trade is either finding a high volume token. So if we look here, all of these ones, like it also does matter what time of the day it is, but yeah, be aware of that. But if we look here, all the market caps are still at 5, 6. This one's at 9K. So this one has had good volume. So it's at 4K. I mean, you still got red across the board, right? So this is why you want to be in and out of something like this very quickly. But if we do take a look, I then like to come in, and as you can see, devs bought and sold already before we're even in. This is on the 1 second chart. So you want to see, once you're in, okay, so say you like the volume, say there's enough holders, okay, so what I want to see is holders increasing down the bottom, guys. As you can see, dump. So someone dumped it. So this is what I mean, like, it's so risky, right? So I'm going to talk more specifically about a strategy that I've been using more recently to lock in a little bit of gains over the past week. Whereas, like, yeah, like being in the trenches is honestly, like, unless you spend hours and hours and hours every single day, it's just not worth it. That's why we trade on other ways. So the other way I like to trade is obviously I come to Dex Screener, and I want to show you how to go about this. Now, gainers, that'll do. So you come to Dex Screener, go to new pairs, okay, over on the side, and then this is where I like to look. So I either like to come and check out the newest tokens that are dropping. Okay, again, you want to do your own research. Make sure you put it on whichever blockchain you want to trade. So Solana in this case, and you can rank it. Now, what you can actually do is come over across to the side and add some filters as well. So you can add a minimum liquidity. So say you want to make sure that there's at least 5K in the liquidity pool. Okay, you want to see that there's at least some buys and sells, those sorts of things. You can add it all in. And then obviously you just rank it by age. Now, the difference between the trenches on bullx/pump.fun and liquidity pools here on Radium directly is massive, right? So traditionally here, this is where I found early meme coins for months before pump.fun became a thing. And I made a lot of money doing that. And obviously we shared that in the group as well. But what you're doing here is finding tokens that are new, but tokens that already have liquidity pools. Now, you still have to do your due diligence, go to SolScanner, check it, okay? Do your own due diligence. Like, look at this is at a 4 billion market cap. So you just fade stuff like that, right? You want to be seeing buys and sells coming in. You want to be seeing good liquidity to market cap ratio. You do want to make sure that you can obviously sell the token and buy the token and all those sorts of things. So Soul Scanner will do that for you. But what you're looking for here is a new token, okay? And what you're looking for is potentially getting into these tokens just as early as Pump.Fun, but these are safer because people have already put up money for either to list it on Dex Screener, to advertise it, to market it, to have the Twitter or the Telegram linked on their Dex Screener. They've also paid, or they've put money into the liquidity pool already, right? So they're already out of pocket X amount because they're putting it into a liquidity pool. So in my opinion, this is still trenches. It's just a safer way to go about it. And again, have Soul Scanner up on the side. And if you see one that you like, paste it in Soul Scanner. Soul Scanner is going to give you a beautiful, like I've shown you many times before. I mean, we can do it here if you want. If we have a look, like let's just do the latest one. So, I mean, you've got a lot of red. You do obviously have to put it down to the 1 second chart. If you copy this, Hank, there's no socials. So that for me isn't quite what I would like to get in. We go to Soul Scanner. Soul Scanner, there we go. And you paste it in here. Let's see what it says about this token. All right, so as you can see, bang, okay, liquidity isn't burnt. Okay, so that means they could just steal the liquidity straight away. So that's a red flag. Okay, so I'm not in there. I don't want to be in this token. The other thing, they haven't paid for ads. Okay, as you can see here, it was 3.5% sniped as well. So yeah, this is a red flag. So I just fade it and wait for and then I go back and then I look for the next opportunity, guys. So that's how I trade. All right, that's one way to trade. So you got the trenches in Pump.Fun, which I very much would advise you don't spend time doing unless you know that there's a lot of liquidity, there's a lot of tokens being made, then your percentage is greater, obviously. Or you come here, this is a second trade, or the next way that I like to trade is actually come to Solana on the side. I then like to look at the top volume token. So if we look at PopGoat right now, so I come across here, and these are the tokens up the top, guys. Now, this is where I love to trade. This is a fantastic way to trade. So something like this, okay, I'll fade, right? Because it's already up like 1.4 mil in the space of what? Not long. So that's a 12x in the space of 7 hours. However, if it does top here, come down here, consolidate around that 786, okay, that's where I like to trade. That's where we took the pig trade. That's where we took the Onyx trade yesterday as well. Okay, that's how I like to trade. And volume matters, guys, no matter where you are in meme coins across the market or even altcoins, those sorts of things. Volume does matter. So PopGoat, okay, it's not where I want it to be. I'll go to the next one, Degen. And again, I will always check. So this one's really interesting. It looks like there's a lack of liquidity with these massive wicks or whales that are selling, okay? So that's something to be aware of, just visually looking at the chart. But if we do look and take it from 0, okay, to the fibs, so 2K is as close as we can get, we can see that we are still heading down lower. So I come across, I copy the contract again, I go to Soul Scanner, paste it in there, and I just see what it says, okay? So it's punching it out for me now. So we have a look here. Yep. So it's 100% burnt. So that's good. It doesn't have freeze or mint on. However, dev snipe 36%. So red flag, guys. Airdrops 50% as well. Red flag. Okay. Move on to the next trade. So I come back to Dex Screener. I go, yep, I don't want to even touch that. I then go to the next one. Now, I might be one that someone mentioned in the group before, actually, I think. So we'll have a look at this one. So again, I use my fibs. I go to the all-time low, to the all-time high, because these are new tokens, okay? They don't have a swing low. Like, in theory, you could say this, but for me, organic price action is all-time low to all-time high, okay? And then I'm watching these fibs. So as you can see, we didn't quite get down to the 786, but we did obviously sort of break out at this sort of quite aggressive there. So I probably would fade this because it's kind of moving up. You haven't seen volume kick in just yet on this as well. But if we do copy that and go to Soul Scanner just to run it through the security and safety check, paste it in. Let's see what it says. So 99% burn, that's good. You've got mint as a green flag, freeze as a green flag. They haven't paid for ads, which is interesting. They have got a boost though. They have paid to have it there. Top 10 holders or top holders percentage is only at 12.7%. They only sniped a small amount of supply. You've got 9.4K holders as well. That's quite big for a meme coin that's only out within the past day? Yeah, with less than that. So no, something like this, I would fade at this level. However, if it was obviously a little bit lower, so if we were sort of down here still with volume sort of coming down still, I would very much then be interested in something like this. So perhaps, like in theory, you could say that we might reject from somewhere like here. Okay, might look to then reset lower. Okay, what I would then look for is whether it's going to be an equal low and then perhaps I could trade off the equal low, or alternatively, you buy off the fibs down below. So that's another strategy, using high volume, using simple strategies that you can trade some of these tokens and swing trade these. This is how I found Pig. This is how I found Onyx yesterday. And that's just a really easy way to consistently trade, guys, in a better risk to reward situation. And then lastly, guys, is obviously swing trades on tokens that we are well aware of. So if I just go to Moo, for example, so establish meme coins, and then I take these to leverage, right? I take them to Blowfin, and then that's where we look to level up with high percentage, because they're higher market caps, so it means the returns aren't going to be as lucrative when you're holding spot. So that's why I use leverage to make to essentially add more risk to it, to add more reward to it. So something like this, obviously if you take the breakout, so the swing low to the swing high, again, this is established. This is a big meme coin. So I take the swing low to the swing high. You are seeing that we did sort of create a double bottom already. We're moving up, but in theory, I'd like to see this come retest a little bit lower before I look to average in for longs. But again, this looks like a really good DCA for spot. But then I use this simple strategy to then get into some really good leverage trades. And again, like it had a bull flag here for a long time. We traded this aggressively out. I have taken profits on that moo long that we had a couple of weeks ago as well. But that's a simple way to again, that's like the fourth or fifth way that you can trade meme coins consistently. So don't get stuck in gambling, guys. Yeah, everyone wants to chase that 1000x percentage. Everyone wants to win those trenches, but guys, it's just not a consistent way to trade. You'll find yourself losing money more often than not. You'll find yourself being exit liquidity to people that rug, or to whales, or to other people that you're trying to copy trade, those sorts of things. So be smarter about the way that you trade, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Obviously, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you guys out. That's what I'm here for at the end of the day. But I really hope you enjoyed that. I have recorded it. I will obviously upload that to YouTube and put it in the live stream channel so you can watch it back at any time. I'll stay for a little bit longer. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute or obviously type it in the chat as well. So thanks for being here, guys.